unsolicited compliment? A sincere one?
Sure.
I really appreciate you adding some balance to the network by putting Justin Herbert on there. Because I had to watch Danny Parkins this morning put up a side-by-side of Justin Herbert's first 5 years and Peyton Manning's and explain how, well, Peyton didn't win in the playoffs either, and their numbers are the same because we all know it's just as easy to pass right now as it was in 1999. And so why can't Justin Herbert one day be Peyton Manning? It was an outrageous segment.
You have done that, a similar graphic. We used the same template when you had Peyton Manning's rookie year with Caleb. Remember you did that one?
What? I was just doing rookie quarterbacks. Yes, and you didn't like it, but that was for the record. That was also, I then did Joe Burrow. I did it in chronological order, template, sir. And I was not saying that Justin Herbert was going to end up being one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. Apologies, Danny, but I have to rip him because I have to go on.
Okay. You hear that, guys? Justin Herbert's not allowed to be defended. He's not allowed to be defended. Ah, man, it really is crazy. Now that we're really locked into playoff mode and we're really, really like locked in to these quarterbacks, these teams, what winning means, what losing means to their resume, their legacy. And these conversations are getting intense. Like, it actually is a bummer that football really is just kind of, you only play one game because it just like gets so concentrated. And then before you know it, you got to just move on, right? You know, it's like the team wins, the other team loses, boom, we got to get it. We got to just keep going forward. Where in basketball, you have a whole, 7-game series with more often than not, they're going to play at least 5 games, 6 games. So you have plenty of back and forth to really unpack some of these things. But I suppose that's what pretty much the NFL offseason is for. But I just feel like at this point, it just continues to be my obligation to just defend the Justin Herbert slander. Again, like, what did you want him to do throughout his career? He played for a wildly unstable franchise with awful coaching, with a head coach who will not be a head coach in the NFL probably ever again. Truly, ever again. There's a small chance maybe he can kind of work his way back up, and it'll be like 10 years from now, and they'll be like, remember, you'll have to like remind everyone like what he did in the past and with the Chargers, like, like there's the chance that he works his way back up, but unlikely. And his great offensive weapons who were constantly banged up and injured, like it's just so frustrating that we constantly hold quarterbacks to unfair and absurd standards. I mean, it really, really is. And it just makes no sense because it's so asymmetrical how a quarterback with a great team and great coaching, they don't acknowledge those gifts for that quarterback. And yet, when another quarterback struggles not having those gifts, we put it all on that quarterback. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves in sports talk. It really is. Because it fundamentally makes no sense. No sense. And again, I understand people will call me out because I'll reference Patrick Mahomes. And it's because he's the gold standard right now for excellence in the NFL as a quarterback, as well as we see so loudly the praise that he gets and some of the criticism that other quarterbacks get. And you can see that it fundamentally does not make sense. It just doesn't. Expecting Justin Herbert to be able to consistently ball out, given what he's been given, having a bad coach, no support, multiple coordinators, like, injured weapons. Do you realize that Patrick Mahomes went to the Kansas City Chiefs with an all-time great coach? And Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, who were both all pro. Yes, they were all pro before Patrick Mahomes. Before Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and obviously Andy Reid, who all three of them individually are all-time greats, without Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has obviously elevated them even more so. It's very synergistic, but Tyreek Hill has had more receiving yards. 2 years in Miami, he's had more yards. He's had better years with the Miami Dolphins than with the Kansas City Chiefs. Interesting how that works. So it's just so irritating that they want to act like Justin Herbert, if he was better, they would somehow have more success. And it's just not accurate to keep pretending that these quarterbacks, if they were truly special, that they would find a way. And it's just nonsense. It really, really is. The defense was a mess, even with Justin Herbert. I mean, like, I just don't get what they keep expecting Justin Herbert to be able to accomplish in these moments. Like, look what Justin Herbert did as a rookie. And look who he did it with. He had one Pro Bowler. Keenan Allen. That's it. That's it. Justin Herbert. 4,336 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I mean, he balled. Obviously balled. And he had Keenan Allen. That's it. I'm not acting like Eckler and Williams are scrubs, but Eckler only played 10 games. Keenan Allen only played 13 games. Mike Williams, 11. And he had Shane Steichen, so he actually had an offensive coordinator that knew what he was doing. And he had Anthony Lynn as his coach. Patrick Mahomes enters the league. What does he have? He's got Kareem Hunt, the guy who was the Pro Bowler before. Tyreek Hill. Yep. You got Travis Kelce, All-Pro. Tyreek Hill, All-Pro. Eric Fisher, Pro Bowler. Schwartz, All-Pro. Like, huh? And Andy Reid. I mean, these things fundamentally matter. And again, when people want to say, oh, well, then he lost Tyreek Hill, he was still able to make magic. Dude, in 22, he had Pacheco, who balled out, was nearly 1,000-yard rusher. You had Travis Kelce, All-Pro. Orlando Brown Jr., Pro Bowler. Thuney, Pro Bowler. Humphrey, Pro Bowler. Like, his majority of his starting lineup on offense was, Pro Bowler, All-Pro. Chris Jones on defense, All-Pro. Like, again, we just have to stop. Oh, last year, Patrick Mahomes carried everyone in 2023. Really? Pacheco, again, just shy of 1,000 rushing yards. Rashee Rice, just shy of 1,000 rushing yards. Travis Kelce, Pro Bowler. Thuney, All-Pro, Pro Bowler. Humphrey, Pro Bowler. Elite defense, obviously, as we know, with multiple All-Pros on defense and Pro Bowlers. Like, again, what are we saying here? In 2019, the Chiefs gave up the seventh least amount of points. They were 19 points per game. In 2020, they gave up 22 points per game, and they were 10th in the league. Again, in terms of 10th best. In 2021, they were 8th, giving up 21 points per game. Then there was a little bit of a step back, but still 16th, so about average, 21 points per game. And in 23, they were second in the league, giving up 17 points per game. I mean, again, these things fundamentally matter. And this season, they're giving up fourth, their top four, 19 points per game. Well, here we go. Justin Herbert enters the league, has the 23rd ranked defense, giving up 26.6 points per game. 29 out of 32. 22 points per game. Finally, they kind of got something a little bit going, and surprise, they were better. They actually were able to make it to the playoffs when they actually had at least a somewhat doable defense, but still only 21 out of 32. Last year, 24th, giving up 23 points per game. Now this year, wow, surprise, they finally have a great defense. And look what it is. They have their best record. It's almost as if these things fundamentally matter. We have to put this all in context, man. We just keep telling lies about what we expect these quarterbacks to do, what these other quarterbacks who we love, what they've been able to achieve. it just gets old, man. It really does. It really, really does. I don't know, man. It's okay to admit that there's other quarterbacks that are great than just saying Patrick Mahomes. It's okay. It's okay to admit it. It's okay, guys. Beyond just Patrick Mahomes, it's okay to admit that Patrick Mahomes has had a tremendous amount of success, not only because he's special, but also because of the team around him, the coaching staff, etc. And the reason why I harp on these things, because we get takes like this about Justin Herbert. So when people try to call me out and say, oh, why are you bringing up Patrick Mahomes? Because it's all relevant. It's all relevant. Patrick Mahomes has taught people that 1 + 1 equals 1,467. So people then take that and use that to guide them for their takes for all other quarterbacks, for Lamar, for Sam Darnold, for Justin Herbert, for Josh Allen. So you constantly get further and further and further away from the truth. It's that simple. It's that simple. But when you actually just look more closely, and I'm going to make another video about this, but like people are trying to be like, oh, Josh Allen chokes in the playoffs, this, that. You realize in the last 10 playoffs, in the last 10 playoff games for both Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes was only asked to be the leading rusher twice. 2 out of 10 games. Josh Allen, 7 out of 10 games, the Buffalo Bills relied on him to be the leading rusher. If you can't see the differences in that, I don't know what to tell you. I really, really don't. It's just ridiculous. Justin Herbert's one playoff game, his defense gave up 31 points, I think it was. Whereas Patrick Mahomes is playing games where the defense has given up 7 points, 10 points, 17 points, 20 points, 20 points, 22. It's a lot easier to win in those circumstances. You guys understand that, right? You understand that? When his team does give up points like 37, he's lost. 31, he's lost. These things matter. These things matter. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, when you look at all his playoff games, his defense averages around 20 points a game. Josh Allen, nearly 25. That is massive. There's a reason why in football, the most common spreads are like 2.5, 3.5, because that's often what it is. So when you have a defense that's giving you nearly almost a touchdown, almost 6 points more, just getting an extra field goal's worth of points is literally the difference between winning and losing. It's how Vegas makes billions of dollars, by just saying 3.5, 2.5, because that's how much it matters. That's the margins that we're in. So keep that all in context. Keep that all in your awareness when you're trying to evaluate how successful or how unsuccessful a quarterback has been, either personally, in terms of his pure box score stats, or accomplishments as a whole. Because it matters. It matters. And I look forward to making essentially the exact same video for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, mainly Josh Allen, in the playoffs as well. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the constant slander on Justin Herbert? And even Wild's calling Nick out for getting mad about the whole comparison to Manning, and yet, Nick himself did it, for Caleb Williams. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.